That'll be a lot more precise than the other replays.
Yeah, so I can just skip to the
To the good bits.
parts. Yeah, it's not very long game, so nice.
Okay.
This part.
More time for co-op then.
Yeah, I guess maybe a little bit of SimCity as well. Although I think
Okay.
my SimCity was quite okay this game.
Oh, very interesting. You're doing the Reaper block.
Yeah. I saw it on Local's vid, I think.
Yeah. Against actual Terran, it's
Okay, so
That's okay.
was probe going out?
It's okay. 2 stalkers. Yeah, this is okay.
Yeah, unfortunate, the Marines caught my.
Oh, this is still very good because you at least got into the main and then you know it's like a heavy bio play.
Yeah. So at this point in time, I will transition to High Templar in a bit.
Okay.
So just skip ahead.
That's fine. That's fine. I think you should get sentries by now, by the way.
Is it? Okay, so I got sentries a bit too late. I think I'll warp in them. Put them. Oh no, I have a sentry there.
Yeah, most players get a sentry as their 3rd or 4th unit.
Just for the hallucinated.
Yeah, for hallucination, because... By the way, what exactly... Okay, wait, maybe I'm jumping to it. What exactly did you scout at first?
Sorry?
When was your first scout? It was that probe, right?
Yep.
Okay, I think that's more or less fine. In actual
Sending my observer now.
yeah, that's good. In actual games, you need to almost certainly probe scout, but that's just to prevent cheeses. Of course, the AI is not gonna cheese you that hard.
Oh, the sensor tower came up just as my observer went.
It wasn't a sensor tower that killed. Sensor towers don't have detection.
Wait, then what do they do?
Let's go back and see.
Wait, enemy move. Within its radar.
Oh, what does the sensor tower do? Okay, so what the sensor tower does is that it will tell the Terran player if there are enemy units within that, but it does not provide detection, which is key. My best guess is either you flew it into a missile turret, or more likely they had a Raven.
Oh, they scanned it.
Oh, they scanned it? Okay. That's dedicated.
How in the world did they... So what, they got notified and then they immediately scanned and took it down?
Okay, so I can't actually remember if the sensor tower will detect a cloaked unit, but you will not be able to... Sorry?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, so... But you still can't target it down. You need a form of detection, either a Raven, a missile turret, or in the Terran's case, these are all Terran units anyway, or a scan. The Terran scan that reveals an area can also reveal cloaked units. That is, however, not ideal because the scan requires energy, whereas the Raven and the missile turret does not. But if a Terran player, even on the ladder, sees like, oh, there's an observer here, I'm just gonna scan and kill it, because it's better to deny that. Okay, so what's the issue with discounting then?
Okay, I wanna see if my Phoenix scout was good enough to come up and... Yep, there we go, Phoenix.
Okay, before the Phoenix goes in, what exactly were you scouting for?
More like where the enemy is coming from and exactly what do they have.
Okay, exactly what they have is good.
Oh, I just missed their move out. Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just missed.
You're engaging the opponent.
When they killed the observer, okay, I'll put it to normal time. Okay, so I just panic spam. Okay, so here is it. I tried to move my zealots front. Like I moved my stalkers back.
Yeah.
I tried. So I got caught off. So my zealots are getting stuck, and my Templars are also getting stuck. So I lost a lot of units for free. Yeah, my Templars died. I think that storm as well. It was good.
I didn't, I'll be honest, I didn't even see the storm, but the way you position your army was, for lack of a better word, bad.
So it was the defensive position that was wrong.
It was not just the defensive position. Okay, if we go back to the beginning of the fight, let me point out something. You spent a few seconds in the most important time ordering your units to retreat, as opposed to at least attacking. That's...
Okay, so at this point, when they killed my observer, I should have already moved the zealots up, right?
Well, that would have helped. Where are your High Templars in the base? You needed to have immediately got your High Templars to the front line.
Oh, they had Storm as well. They had enough energy. That's not...
Yeah, you actually researched Storm. You had enough energy. It may or may not have been able to win the fight because the Terran army is actually kind of big.
Yeah. So, was my army... Okay, if I microed it well, right, was I even able to...
It would depend on the storms.
So it was the storms that would have changed the fight. Okay.
You
Because
would have
they had
hoped
no
with
medivacs. The Marines would have,
died, yes.
yeah, oh my god.
As side note,
Let's
your
trade
immortals are
target.
quite late.
Yeah.
Okay, go to lower speed. Okay, pause. Okay, what you notice just happened is that, okay, to make this clear, you realize that the sentry side of things engaged the Terran army, whereas the High Templar side of things did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, this is true for anything. A bigger force will crush a smaller force, but they'll crush a smaller force faster. So if you had just like move your entire army against this, I think you would have been better off. Because the sentry dies for free, no guardian shield, no force field, no nothing. And you take a lot of shots in the retreat. Okay, play and then we'll see something. Okay, there's a bit of fighting. Okay, pause. Okay, did you see that your entire army just moved south and you took a lot of damage without ever firing a single shot?
True.
And then the tanks start firing, and unfortunately, the tanks fired on the High Templars, which are your MVP units.
Yeah.
And thanks to those tank shots, like your AoE damage is effectively gone. If you had just stood and
Ah,
fought, warped in, kept pushing, you might have been able to survive this again with the storms. But the decision to move south is like 2-3 seconds where the enemy army is getting absolutely free damage, and more importantly, the tank shots are coming off.
I see. See.
Also, another thing to point out is that your SimCity here is actually hurting you because you are now walking around your own pylons, and that is adding an additional second that the Terran is firing for free.
So should I have just SimCity? Should I have just SimCity like
I think one pylon here would have been enough, leh.
is that?
Yeah, like one
Uh,
pylon. Okay, because here's the thing, like the 3 pylons at the front are not powering anything, so one would have been enough. Um, Having, let's say, more pylons at your third would have been better. Having a pylon down here in your main, you notice your main still has a blind spot?
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so hell, your main technically has a blind spot even on the side towards the natural.
That's
Yeah.
changed. Oh yeah,
Um,
a very slight one.
yeah, so it makes more sense to put pylons there. Now, if these pylons are powering buildings, then it's a different story because then backup pylons make sense. But these 3 pylons are not doing anything. Okay, I also like to point out something else. Your your observer that saw this army was actually not in an ideal position.
Wait, so where should it have lockdown? I guess I don't know what to
Can you
call it.
see my ping?
No leh, chat. You need to fix that. Why can't I see your ping?
Okay, but the short answer is okay. You notice the Terran's third base that's coming up right now.
Yeah.
You could have just put your observer like there.
Oh, I sent an observer that it died from the Raven, as in the
No,
Raven detect.
yeah. So put it outside. The other thing you could have honestly done is just send like a couple of zealots to go and scout, because putting it out in the middle of the map, okay, it's better than nothing. I give you that. If not, you would have been completely screwed, and there's
Yeah.
nothing to talk about. But why not put it like there so you kind of know when your opponent is taking a third base? And to be honest, like this is one of the main routes Terran uses to walk across the map. Because they'll go from their natural base to yours, and the most direct route is either they go towards the third where they're building, or they'll head down south and then around.
See.
Also,
So
you could have gotten more
Zealot
observers.
Zealot would have been a better sentry scout than
Yeah,
observer.
given the amount of minerals you're floating, yes. Like what I do as Terran is I will literally, once I get like more than 10 marines, I will just send them to the enemy's potential third, fourth, fifth, and even sixth base, and just
Oh,
leave them there. Because it will
see.
tell me 2 things. It will tell me if there's a move out. It will tell me if they're taking another base, which is a key piece of information. Um, yeah, like if we go back to, okay, let's go back to when the army moved out, and let's look at the scouting then, since we're talking about scouting. By the way, do you have any other questions about that fight? Because I
Oh,
think that's,
I see what I should have.
yeah.
The reaction was slow and I should have just fought it.
You're,
Retreating was a bad idea.
yeah, again, pro Protoss players have died to this. To be honest, like they retreat when they're not supposed to because they don't have perfect information. The other thing is that your mortal count is very low at this point as well.
The Immortals would have killed the siege tank. That's
Yeah,
about it, right? Cyclone as well.
it would have killed the siege tank. Yeah, but it would allow you to break through. Like, oh my god, looking at this fight again, then see, like the army retreats, the tanks get. I count 4 shots before you even start engaging. By this time, all your High Templars are dead. Your Immortal is stuck behind your own units and it only gets 2 shots off and bio before it dies.
Yeah.
Did you have charge?
I
You
did
don't have
not.
charge. Yeah, bloody hell, I would. If you had blinked on top of that, oh no, it's hard to say. Anyway, let's go back to when the army moved down. And let's look at the scouting then.
Yeah? Okay, wait.
It just says
My-
seeking, so okay, let's look at your vision.
Okay, Phoenix is coming.
Yeah, you can send spotter zealots out. You have the money for it. Oh, okay, so they took the southern path.
I just missed the move.
Yeah, you just missed the moved out. Actually, okay, again, this is a problem even I have. Did it occur to you when you did not scout an army in their base that they're attacking you?
Honestly, I forgot at that point of time. Right, if I thought about it or not. But yeah, even then, after a few seconds, my observer, I knew it.
Okay, so it wasn't that hopeless. Because if you had scouted them the moment they move out, shield batteries can go down.
A shield battery, it's okay.
Yeah. You also got blink and never did anything with it. Like you never blinked in this fight at all.
Yeah.
But that's, I understand, too many things to do. Here we go again, like the tanks are getting 4 or 5 shots for free. And siege tanks shred gateway units. That's why you get immortals in fact. Yeah.
Did it do additional damage to fight?
Immortal do additional damage to armored units.
No, as in a siege tank.
Yeah, siege tank is armored.
Do they do additional damage to? Was it only heads?
Okay, wait, can you repeat the question one more time just to make sure I hear you right?
Oh no, siege tanks do normal damage, right? Like no bonus damage to anything.
I think so, yeah. Siege tanks, but their splash damage is pretty high as it stands. And it's splash damage, which is
Range also quite insane. Okay, nothing else. Shall I move on? There's
yeah.
one more match I would like to
Okay, let's go.
gather some feedback. Okay, so this one, Simulacrum again. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
by the way, I tried Simulacrum and Zen already. Zen is a very fun map. Very defensive.
That is you're now reaching the interesting maps.
Zen is interesting. I thought it was pretty standard.
No. The 3 crazy maps are in order of madness from lowest to most. It is Zen, Golden Wall, and then Purity and Industry. So
The
Zen is what's
purity is fucked up. So insane.
dude, I was co-casting with
Oh shit, did you DC?
oh yeah, DC. Re-invite me please.
Yeah, never. I'll just remake it.
Okay. No, it's so stupid because I was co-casting with a guy yesterday and he told me that after the map came out, he's never played a map on it because he vetoes it all the time.
Wow, really?
Third player, but yes.
Huh.
Oh no, but again, I'm Terran. I will absolutely play on Purity and Industry.
Air is king, right? Like,
Air is king. Don't forget, there's an island expand. Which race can just build a building and float it over there,
oh yeah, that's a good.
and you can float it over there and turn the entire building into a turret.
Wait, when you say veto, what do you mean?
So in tournament settings, you are allowed to veto. So there's 7 maps, right? So depending on how the tournament goes, either each player vetoes 2 maps, so 4 maps are gone, and then you get
Oh
map pick.
wow, I
Or
see.
in another tournament I cast, what they do is that one player will veto, and then the other player will pick a map. So you can immediately say, I do not want to play on PVT in the stream, or I do not want to play on Zen, blah 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 blah.
Oh, I see. Okay, so early scout.
This card is good. It's good. It's good.
So probe scouts are only used to detect cheeses, right? It's not really used for actual vision. You use other things for that.
More or less, yeah. You can do other cheeky things with probe scouts, but the primary thing is to know, am I being cheesed? Because
Or
if you're
to cheat. Isn't it, right?
correct, or to cheese. Because if you're being cheesed, as we've seen in 2v2, we do not, might not be able to take second base.
Yeah.
Why are your gateways over here, by the way?
Yeah, I think I messed up my
Okay,
decision making.
Research is done.
Okay, Phoenix is out early.
Okay, can we pause a second? I just want to talk about something. Okay, I understand the pain of being supply blocked. That being said, you have spent a good amount of money in pylons that could have been used for better things.
Yeah, I have a bad habit. Like when I get supply board, I guess or not, I just build like 4.
Were you supply blocked?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
At one point, I think I was.
Okay, so to make life easier, if you're supply blocked, if you're supply blocked normally build 2, if you're supply blocked and attacking build 3. But
Ah,
building like four pylon is one nexus, you know.
good point.
It's
Good.
another expansion. It's another 3 stalkers. Okay, never mind. Let us continue. This is not like a mistake. It's just
Something,
inefficiencies.
something to ponder. Oh, by the way, this is probably my 7th game on Simulacrum. Like that day, which was I think yesterday, that I
Okay.
played not like, in a row. So you can see my scouting is just I just scouted because fuck it, I kept dying to the damage. I just wanted to get as many scouts as possible. This was I think my 7th Simulacrum. I can go and check. Okay, so let's
Okay.
move on. Yeah, I still did not scout this.
Yeah, here they are.
I did
Oh, they
scout.
went for Hellions. Okay.
Uh,
This is new. I've never seen the AI do this.
this is harder though, so. Okay, so the Hellions chased me all the way. Ah, this one I put my probes for this because I needed some damage to tank.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything goes back to
Hell,
normal.
you're still ahead in workers.
I am. Wait.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, what? He only has 26. Well, so this is why he lost.
Okay.
Way too much minerals on that shit. Okay.
You should be taking a third base right now. Okay.
Research complete.
Okay, pause. I do want to ask you a question. Why were your okay? What was the logic behind getting the forgers?
Oh, upgrades.
Okay, but why then? Why there then?
I don't know. My supplies look kind of hefty,
Okay,
but I spend it.
okay. My personal recommendation is that again, I've casted with grandmaster players, and every single little detail in their play they can explain with perfect clarity.
Mm.
Basically, the reason anything is done, there's always a reason behind it. The reason I'm pointing this out is that you currently have 13 army supply, which are 5 stalkers and 1 sentry. What is the point of getting +1/+1 for these like 6 units? I
Ah,
would strongly recommend, especially I'm looking at the clock now, focus on getting your third base.
I see.
Because in fact all the pro players I've seen, what they'll do is they'll take a third base at about 4 or 5 minutes, depending on if they get cheesed or not. Then once the third base is built and they're sending probes over, they get more gateways and then they get the forges.
Oh,
Like this is a gigantic rookie mistake that I used to make. What is the point of getting upgrades for a tiny army? It makes more sense to get more army, a nice big standing army, and then you get the upgrades to apply to that. No?
I see.
So still, like, no third base.
Oh, okay.
Getting a third base will allow you to actually play the macro game. It will allow you to afford like 4 colossi and immortals and all the rest of the nice things. Because eventually you're going to be like you have a bank now, but you're going to be conscripted, and more importantly, in Protoss case you have no gas, not enough gas rather.
True.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of it. The other thing I'd like to point out is that you have 4 pylons in your natural. Do you always build your robo there, by the way?
Yeah, cause it's like faster to get to the fight, I guess. Is that not good?
It's okay. The one thing I need to caution you about is that if you end up building a lot of stuff behind your mineral lines, especially things that produce units, there's a possibility of it getting stuck. And there is a possibility of like the immortal popping out and then walking their way through like a maze of workers and minerals before reaching the fight.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
See.
yeah, but
So
that is
they
why you
put
build
it it
a
can have this path?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Or so you just build like stuff like robos like where there's the easiest path to everywhere else.
I would kind of advocate for that, but buildings like Forges, Twilight Council, you don't produce anything. It's just upgrade buildings. You can build it behind, no problem. Because it
I
doesn't
see.
matter.
I see. Okay.
In fact, gateways too, because once they turn to warp gates, it doesn't matter.
Point.
Oh, but Terran, you build production behind your mineral line. Oh, you asking for trouble. Okay, that's kind of it.
Okay, thanks. We'll take note of that.
That field's been mined out.
Okay, you're getting Storm. I like the deviation in style. Like you're not just going for the death ball. Okay, this is good. This is what I'm talking about. You're putting your observer where you can see the damn army.
Ah, yeah, I figured it was something. Thanks,
Yeah.
game. This game is right after the last game I showed you. The
Yeah,
observer
okay.
got crashed last time, so I put it.
Yeah, like you see the tank siege up, you know that Terran ain't going nowhere without them tanks.
That field's been mined out.
By the way, that does not apply in 1v1, because in 1v1 there drops.
Good point.
My dad always researches that one.
Oh dear, I just spot a big mistake. I'm blocking my entire army from with this gateway.
Yeah.
Like this one. Can I pick? I can't pick.
I see it, I see it. I was gonna talk about it, but you already see it, so that's good.
Research complete.
You've blocked off a good chunk of
Ah,
your...
okay. So I think yeah, I saw this work out, I saw this move out.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I saw this move out back then. Okay, so I sent my zealots front, stalkers
Yeah.
behind. Storm is really hotkey. Okay, this fight we're ready to go. Send a wait, why am I on faster? I could have sent a zealot in front. I think that would have been better,
Yeah,
so that I knew exactly when it came. Okay, Storm goes down.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving out the.
I mean, this is
Wait,
the
don't mind me. I'm gonna rewind a bit. How did they
Sure.
lose their front? What happened?
You jumped on them.
Oh, did I now? Okay, I
I
didn't
think
see
so.
it. Yet.
Let's you could watch it like slower speed, by the way.
What
Yeah,
is the?
Okay.
Is that went in first?
Yeah. You have more stuff in general. You jump on them. You commit to the fight. The zealots kill the bio.
This upgrade makes your unit stronger.
Yeah, their tanks their tanks weren't sieged up in time.
Yeah, because you attack first, the tanks weren't like easily besieged, and then they make this weird mistake of like unsieging their tanks. But on top of that, you just had more. You had more zealots, you had stalkers.
I think the MVP was the zealots with charge though. Wow,
Yeah.
big.
Research charge this time, so props to you. Because if you
Nice.
didn't have charge, they would have been gunned like...
Oh yeah, I had 1-1 as well. Just realized.
Yeah, you had 1-1, that's good. You still have no third base.
Yeah. Okay.
This is okay. You're winning, so you press your advantage. I think I think you were a little bit surprised how convincingly you won that fight.
Yeah, I was surprised as well. I honestly thought I'd lose more. So when they all died, I was really shocked.
This is what you use Storm for.
Ah.
You hit those clusters when they're bundled up, and then you just overrun them with zealots.
Yeah.
You storm your own units, but it doesn't really matter right now. Storm does friendly fire, by the way.
Is it exactly the same damage or is it reduced?
I think it's exactly the same damage. So if you storm your own zealots, you don't take damage. Just not apply co-op. Hey, Colossus joined the fight. Now your third base is up. Hey, God.
You can see I was like, no, I'm not taking that GG. I was way too hard for this.
How many... Wait, so you said you played Simulacrum 7 times. Did you like lose 7 times or something?
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna check right now. I played it. Okay, let's see. Let's go on. 1, 2, 3, 4. think like, yeah, this is my sixth simulacrum game, and then I finally won. The other games, oh yeah, I can tell you that first game took 14 minutes. I have no idea how I held on to that long. 10 minutes for the next, 7 minutes for the next one. I died really fast. 9 minutes. This one finally 13 minutes.
Yeah, when you said you died in like the 7 minute mark, I'm like, you just died to a push. They just walked
Yep.
across the map and killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have actually. You know something? You know something? Um.
Mhm.
Oh, now this makes a lot more sense to me. That's why Protoss goes adept.
Wait, why?
Think about it. The adept is faster than any unit the Protoss can produce up until Hellion. So if you send the adept to the other side of the map, and
Mhm.
especially if you use Shade Micro, you could literally have the adept standing outside the enemy base the entire time. And once the enemy moves out, unless they have Hellions, you can just walk away and just like stand outside their vision. You can stand at the third base. You technically
Oh,
can do the same for stalkers, but adepts give you. And just think about the adept.
the shade also counts as vision.
Yeah, so you could. And in 1v1 games, you could just have an adept out there just shading forward all the time and keeping the Terran at home.
Because if they don't give the adapt, it's gonna lose a lot of workers, right?
Yeah, especially if it's a committed adept pressure, aka
But that's
if they have two adepts, yeah. So the moment two adepts show up, which is a little bit rare in TVP, Terran needs to defend this one way or the other. So
I see.
hopefully that means that Terran has enough bio to deal with it. Because here's the thing, nothing out of a robotics, no infantry unit on its own can take on uh, an adept without the adept getting away. A Reaper is too weak. The Marine is not fast enough. Only Marauder with upgrades can slow it down. Even then, with good shade micro, you can get away. So Terran needs to take all the way to Hellion to realistically push away adepts.
Well, don't need wall.
Yeah, oh, the wall is damn important because the adept can shade from the natural all the way up until all the way into the main middle line via the shade from the natural. In fact, if you really want to learn something, try going adept openers.
Okay. After I learn Templar, I'll definitely learn adepts.
No, 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 no. I'm not saying you all in with adepts. I'm saying that the first unit you get in TVP is an adept.
Ah.
So you could do this in conjunction with your Templar build. Because I
Huh?
notice you're going stalkers all the time.
Yeah, still the unit I'm most familiar with.
Correct. So again, early game, this is the time to learn the basics of the adept. And honestly, adepts are never used in late game. They're only used in early and mid game. And mid game is normally for an all in.